As far as the Detroit Lions go, I'm excited to see what they're doing, but I'm not predicting some major success for them this season. They did not make the playoffs last year, people. It's almost like we forgot that they had this really bad beginning of the season because they ended on such a high note.
Yeah.
And beating the Packers and beating Aaron Rodgers in his final game at Lambeau, that doesn't automatically mean you're going to like the NFC Championship game the next year. The hype has been out of control for the Detroit Lions, and unfortunately, I think it's going to hurt them because we can't just be happy and excited about the Lions. Now it's got to be an overdrive where they're going to be like this great team. There's just no evidence that that's the case.
Well, I mean, they won 8 of their last 10. Their red-hot offense coordinator, Ben Johnson, decided not to leave because he thought something special was going on here in Detroit, had multiple head coaching offers. They have Jared Goff, apparently has been just on top of his game, taking it to a new level in the preseason. Everything is looking, I mean, I understand their receiver, Jameson Williams, got suspended, but he wasn't even there last year for the hot streak anyway. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's a legit star wide receiver. I think there's every reason to be excited, but there's one key factor you're forgetting here.
What's that?
If you have a bunch of guys who can walk and chew gum at the same time, they can win that NFC North. This is the NFC North. I understand the Jets are getting a lot of pregame hype, but they're in the AFC East, Maggie. You basically have to be better to win the AFC East than you have to win the Super Bowl because it's such a hard division week in and week out. The Lions are in an easy division, and they're clearly a very, very good offense whose defense can't get worse, will probably get better.
No.
I'm excited.
You're wrong. You're close on the word, but you have the wrong word. They're not in an easy division. They're in an even division. And that means you can lose on any given day. That means you're not going to run the table in your division. I think you have a lot of teams that are kind of like right around each other. If we think the Bears are going to take a step forward, Justin Fields is getting all this MVP love. If you're looking at, you are the biggest Jordan Love fan.
I love Jordan Love.
That exists in this country. Jordan Love's parents don't think that he's going to have a better season than you. And as far as the Vikings, listen, the Vikings ended up being kind of frauds when it came to the playoffs, and losing at home to the Giants was a bummer. But they won a lot of games, and they could do that again. So, I don't think the Vikings are now going to be like a 7-10 team. So it's an even division. I don't think that the Lions or anyone's going to run away with the NFC North.
I think it's one of the more. If I had to pick it, I think it's the second easiest division to pick. Chiefs is the easiest. Maybe the Jaguars, and then the Lions are in there because the AFC East, you have all sorts of problems. You have Buffalo, the Jets, the Dolphins. AFC North has nothing but talent.
Yeah.
The AFC South will probably be the Jags. AFC West has the Chiefs. But then you have every other division in the NFC is pretty much up for. I think there are a lot of divisions are more up for grabs. Like, who's winning the NFC South? Do you have any idea?
No, but again, even probably.
I think the NFC North is a little more lopsided towards the Lions. Just on the way they beat the Packers in Week 18 with Aaron Rodgers, so you'd think they'd have an edge over them. The Bears were the worst team in the NFL, and the Vikings just feel like everything about Minnesota is going backwards. They were 13-4, but it was the weakest 13-4 all the analytics people had ever seen. And, of course, they lost in the first round. So I think that the Lions have a great chance here. But it's not just that. They're exciting. They're a high-octane offense.
Okay, well, that's different. Exciting is one part of it. Do you think they're going to win games?
Yes, I definitely do.
Or that they're going to be a factor when it comes to the playoffs? I mean,
do.
The Lions have no expectations whatsoever, and now all of a sudden have tons and tons and tons. Who does that work out for? I mean, it's like they skipped a step where they could even just be like a team that people kind of like and maybe, can sneak up on an opponent here or there. Instead, the NFL gives them the kickoff, like the opening night against the Kansas City Chiefs. They're expecting a lot.
They won 8 of 10, Maggie. That's incredible.
Didn't make the playoffs, Perloff, because they were so bad in the beginning of the season.
I totally understand. They have a great defensive player in Aiden Hutchinson. There's a lot to like about this team. And, okay, I will admit, there is a lovable loser thing about it. They're like the 2016 Cubs. You have to root for. If you're not a fan of another team in the NFC North, how can you not root for the Lions? They're sort of they got that America's team. I hate to say this, sympathy vote because they're the Lions and they haven't won forever. We all love Barry Sanders. We all love Calvin Johnson, but we knew the Lions could never win. It feels different to me, Maggie.
I don't even know if they are like going to be exciting. They're not the team I think is going to be the most exciting.
Okay.
And when I say the most exciting, I mean you have no idea how it's going to go from week to week, and it's going to look, I'm sure the wins are going to be spectacular, and I bet the losses are going to be spectacular. But I think it's now the Atlanta Falcons are going to be one of the most interesting teams to watch on offense. Did you read Peter King's column? It's all about, they're calling it positionless offense. They're trying to take a page out of like what the San Francisco 49ers do, which is moving guys all around. Really doesn't matter what your designation as far as your position. You're going to do whatever. And they've got all these young and interesting offensive pieces. And I think that is going to be one of the most interesting teams because it's the Falcons. They're going to lose some games in spectacular fashion too. They're going to be interesting. More interesting than Lions.
If by interesting you mean the most boring team in the NFL, then you might be honest. They're going to run the ball. They drafted a running back number 8. They have a running coach. Arthur Smith used to be Derrick Henry's coordinator in Tennessee. They're going to run. So that, I'm thinking high octane, passing. You're right. Atlanta will have a lot of quirky games, but their style is going to be to take the air out of the ball.
Then why would they have drafted Drake London in the first round in 2022?
They have no idea what they're doing. You think they're passing the ball? They just drafted Bijan Robinson. They are definitely not passing.
Well, hold on. Didn't the Lions just drafted running back number 12 overall?
Yeah, 100% for the passing offense. He's not going to.
That's what Bijan's going to do.
I do. Arthur Smith?
He's got to pass the ball at
He's
some
not
point.
A passing coordinator.
But Bijan, I know he's not Derrick Henry. They're not going to ask him to do that. He's not going to carry that kind of load because they also have Tyler Algiers right behind him.
Oh, I mean, wow, Tyler Algiers. I mean, catch lightning in a bottle there. Come on, this is going to be so boring. This is going to be so boring. This is going to be ball control offense.
Okay, so you think the Lions are going to be more interesting?
Yeah, and I don't think you want to see that poll result. If we put up who's going to be a more interesting team, the Lions or the
Listen, I lost last week's polls in such spectacular fashion, and won a few. But which one did I lose like terribly? Oh, it was a Jose Altuve cheating. I get it. Did he have the buzzer?
You certainly won the Rocky one.
I won the Rocky poll. I lost the Altuve poll. Was he wearing a buzzer in such spectacular fashion?
Well, is an MLB player cheating in any form? The answer is always the default answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, put that poll up. I got to tell you, the NFL, I think, thinks like me. You know how many primetime games Atlanta got?
Well, I know. See, that was the Lions last year, though. It's maybe the team nobody sees coming.
No.
Yeah,
0.0. They got no primetime games, Maggie. You think they're Atlanta. Not only that, they're the Atlanta Falcons. Even if they were exciting, nobody wants to watch the Atlanta Falcons. It's just that kind of franchise. They're like a Washington Wizards kind of. Wait, you guys know what I'm talking about? Have you ever been like, oh, yes, Atlanta football, catch it. Catch the excitement.
Well,
yes, every year
they have one great team in that state, and it's the Georgia Bulldogs. That's all anyone in Atlanta cares about.
Wait a minute, hold on. It might not be technically prime time, but they do have a standalone game. That would be Sunday, October 1st at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. They're playing Jacksonville. I believe that game's got to be in England.
Yeah, I don't.
So it is a standalone game.
I don't think the England games. They have less, actually. Not only do they not have a primetime game, I read they had the most 1 o'clock games of any team. They're the Rutgers of the NFL right now.
That's not true.
They're like, hey, it's like Indiana's playing Kentucky. Let's in football. Let's put it on at noon. No, I like Atlanta. I think they're really interesting.
No. You can't recover from that. No, you can't call them the Rutgers of the NFL and then say, no, I actually like them. We know what you're doing.
I'm like you. I'm kind of a football nerd. I want to see how this experiment works with the multiple positions. And they have these. I love Kyle Pitts. He's from Philadelphia. Went to the same high school as my dad. No big deal. There's a lot of interesting things.
Yeah.
But when you think of sizzle, you think of the Lions who play, in the NFC North. It's going to be a lot of offense.
When you think of sizzle, you think of the Lions?
Well, this Lions team is going to be one of the probably top 5 offense. I would imagine. I think they are.
They're either going to be super exciting or they're going to crash and burn like never. Like the hype around them. I want to like the Lions. I want the Lions to be really good. I'm like you said, I'm rooting for the Lions, but the crash and burn potential is so high because the hype. Like at least with the Jets, there's Aaron Rodgers there. You're putting your money on Jared Goff.
I don't know. It's the NFC North. Goff? What is it? What it's like crash in the NFC North, and you could be 6-11 and win the division. They had the 4th ranked offense last year in the entire NFL. That's sizzle.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. So we're talking about the most interesting team the most fun team to watch. Because interesting is kind of like that could be anything.
How about the word exciting?
Most exciting team to watch.
Maggie, I have bad news. I literally just put the poll up 8 seconds ago.
No,
There's
don't tell
8
me.
votes. It's 100-0.
I don't want to know.
8 votes.
Yeah.
I mean, literally within seconds, I just hit send and it's 0.
Come on, I know. Listen, the thing about the Falcons, they're one of my 10 commandments. Thou shalt not bet on the Falcons.
Yeah,
I'm not
you
saying
don't want
put
to
your
get
money on
involved in
them,
that.
but I'm saying that they're going to be exciting.
Do you remember that Bucks game where they were basically going to win and there was some terrible call last year?
Yeah.
So you expect a lot of stuff like that. That wasn't as much exciting as frustrating and weird, and that's what's going to happen. It's just going to be odd. They're the oddest team in the league, which is interesting to you. I understand.
Arthur Smith's got that mustache going now.
I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I mean, their draft history alone, they drafted 2 6'6" receivers and then go to running back. Like, what's going on here?
That's what I'm saying. That's been setting up for this to get unleashed this year.
Yeah.
It's like Pitts, Drake London. Yeah.
Let me throw one more name at you.
Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter.
Well, you know I've been a Ritter fan for a long time.
Yeah, but even you as a Ritter, you think he's efficient at best. Nobody's like, he's not going to be this year's Tua.
Worst compliment ever. Hey,
everyone.
he's super efficient.
It's not like they didn't need Michael Vick 2.0. You know, they can still be interesting.
He's going to make a lot of the right decisions.
Yeah, I love that.
Catch the right decisions.
Ooh, Chad
Only
Pennington,
in Atlanta.
2.
I
2.0.
I want Desmond Ritter to just be a solid A-. Is that possible? Can he be a B+? They'll
thing
win
is-
the division.
The thing is, it's not like we're going to get any callers defending Atlanta. We might get some excited that Georgia's number 1 in the Coaches Bowl. We're not getting any Falcons calls.
We do have 8.3% of our audience does support the Falcons right now. 8.3.
Come on, Falcons
really
fans.
picked up.
I feel like I'm shouting into the void. Come on, Falcons fans. Like, I look behind me and there's no one there.
You know who's
Oh,
really
boy.
getting screwed in this whole discussion? The fact that it's the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. And no one's talking about the Chiefs. Maybe you mentioned Travis Kelce's mustache, which is amazing.
Yeah, the
but
mustache thing has really taken over the league and our society. Okay, here's why. It's like pencil in the greatness. They're like clearing. They keep like clearing their own bar for success. It's like, oh, can you win the Super Bowl? Can you do it with Tyreek Hill? Can you do it with Patrick Mahomes on a bad ankle? Like, they just keep setting the bar so high and then clearing it. It's like they have to do something so spectacular now for us to turn our heads. Because I just sort of assume greatness with the Chiefs.
Yeah, but this whole run, have they ever been the preseason hype team? Even though they might be the favorite, we don't pay it. You're right. We just
No, Joe
expect
Burrow's
excellence.
the MVP favorite, isn't he, this year? I thought he was.
I'm not sure, but it could be. I don't know with the injury if that might have changed. But I feel like we never hype up the Chiefs. We just like expect them to be really good. And like the Jets, it used to be the Browns with Baker Mayfield. The Chiefs never get any of that energy. They get oh yeah, they're great. No need to talk about them.
Well, kind of. I think they kind of deserve that, right?
Yeah. No, what are you going to say? They're
there's-
awesome.
And I don't, like, Samter, you thought there's maybe some Chiefs fatigue. I don't know about that.
It's not fatigue per se, but it's to your point. They're just so boringly good, right? It's like,
But they're not boring. They do the ring around the rosy, Mahomes throwing left-handed passes. They actually are very interesting.
I don't mean like as their play. I mean like they're just so good. It's boring. It's like the Patriots of the 2000s. They were just so good every year. It was just boring to watch them. Even if they were exciting to watch, they were just the Patriots every year. Your Bills, on the other hand, like good team with drama around them. There's no drama around the Chiefs. They're going to be great, and they're going to be great for a long time.
They're not a good August preseason team. Like there's no interest about them in training camp, really. Well, there are teams that like Detroit Lions, for example, who are just amazingly hyped right now, but no need to do that for the Chiefs. We're going to watch every Chiefs game. I mean, there is not a single Chiefs game. They're basically all prime time throughout most of the season.
I mean, Chris Jones is still not reported to camp.
Yeah, they're fine.
Drama.
I know.
I mean,
I'd rather get your drama out of the way early. I think that's the key here.
I think you guys are missing the most exciting team.
more than Atlanta?
Even, I mean, if you can somehow wrap your head around it, even more exciting than Desmond Ritter in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know I'm not like breaking new ground here, but the Jaguars, you have Trevor Lawrence. You've got like all these weapons on offense that they keep adding onto it. Doug Peterson has won a Super Bowl. That defense is interesting.
They're going to win the
kill
division.
that division.
Yeah.
Wait.
Super exciting.
On that note, Maggie, everything you said about the Lions, can't you say basically the same thing about the Jaguars? That they're in a weak division. They were a decent team last year, but now we're expecting the world from them.
Well, I think I think the AFC South is actually a weak division. I think the NFC North is an even division, as I said. I think Trevor Lawrence should be an MVP candidate. I mean, his numbers are probably going to be awesome. Could he throw 40 touchdowns this year? Probably.
He's 8th in MVP preseason odds right now.
I'll tell you right now who I wouldn't count.
Plus 1,600.
I put Jared Goff in that MVP discussion. I'm not joking.
I mean,
he's plus 2,500. He's about 5 or 6 spots behind Trevor.
Right, and he moved up. He was plus 40 to start the season.
Yes,
and
he was plus 4,000.
It's been nothing but glowing remark. I mean, that offense is going to be fire this year. If they win 11 games, Jared Goff throws 40 touchdowns, he's going to be in the MVP mix.
Do you want to put an MVP bet today?
I already did.
On Goff?
Yeah, 26-1. Let's go, Jared Goff.
Said no one ever. 855-212-4CBS.
Anybody can bet on Mahomes at 6-1. That's not going to win you any money. You got to go Goff, and I do like Trevor Lawrence too. That's where you should put your money.
I think I'm going to. 855-212-4CBS. So the most exciting NFL team this season. We want to hear from you. You can watch the show. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where to do it. The Weedos, the Purple Drinkers, they are here and they are in full effect. Getting some questions about my trip to Sesame Place.
Oh, my! I have 1,000 questions.
Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later on. We got a lot more pressing matters, including realignment in college sports. This is continuing now. The latest whispers are putting can we call it the Pac-12 anymore? The Pac-4 is what I've been seeing.
The conference formerly known as.
It's a symbol now, like Prince. Yeah, some crazy rumors going on about the remaining members of the Pac-4. So we'll get to that in just a little bit. Plus, we do have the craziest moment from the weekend. We'll get to that as well. Glad you're with us. It is Maggie and Perloff. Again, 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Who will be the most exciting team in the NFL this season?